Hello, hello. On this video, I will be explaining to you DraftKings for tonight's matchup between the Cardinals and the Packers. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to open up DraftKings, and we're going to break this game down. All right, here we go. All right, so the contest that I'm looking to enter is the Showdown between Green Bay, Arizona. The contest details include there's going to be 133,000 people in this contest, and here's the payout structure. So the top lineup gets $1 million, second 100,000, third 40,000, and then onwards. So this is a pretty cool contest. You can finish in 26,000th place and still win $30. It does cost $20 to enter, but for the chance at $1 million, $20 does not seem like a lot of money. I'm going to move this here, and let's get started. Okay, got to move it up. All right, just bear with me. Bear with me. Let's put this here. I like it there. Okay, so the way this works is DraftKings is going to give you $50,000 right here of fake salary money. And you have to fill a lineup of 6 different players from both teams. Here in the captain slot, you're going to pay a 1.5x price of the player, but you will also receive 1.5x the amount of points that player scores. So in this slot, you kind of want to pick the player that you think is going to score the most points out of both teams. But you also have to keep in mind that the person that DraftKings is projecting to score the highest also has the highest salary, which then leaves you with less money to kind of create a balanced team. So let's go ahead and start with the captain slot. In my opinion, it's either going to be Murray, Rodgers, Hopkins, or Jones who score the most points in this game. Based on the price points, you have Murray at 18,000, and then on the low end, you have Aaron Jones at 13,500. So one thing to keep in note in this game is obviously the Packers have their 3 wide receivers out. They just announced that Valdez-Scantling is not going to dress up. So that leaves Aaron Rodgers with a few less personnel to kind of attack this tough Cardinals defense. So that's kind of concerning, something to keep in mind. Vegas does have this game at 50 points, I believe. So they're expecting it to be in the high 20s, mid-20s to high 20s, possibly going into the 30 range. I kind of see it more as like a 27-24 type of game. But I would not be surprised if it goes up into the 30s. One thing you have to consider is who you think is going to win the game. So I do give the slight edge to the Cardinals. So I am leaning towards putting a Cardinal in my captain slot. However, without these receivers, you can also make a argument that Aaron Jones is going to have, like an Alvin Kamara type of game from Monday night and just go off. So it's going to be tough to decide, but let's just start let's go with a Murray lineup. So if we put Murray at the top, let's see what we can put together. 1 second, let me just get my notes in order. All right, so for this lineup, we're going to try and see if we can get Murray and Aaron Rodgers on the same lineup. I don't really like putting both quarterbacks, but it could pay off in this one. So let's go ahead and let's put Kyler here at the captain. So that leaves us with $32,000 to spend on the remaining team. And if we go with Aaron Rodgers as well, that now cuts us down to $20,600. All right. So with Murray at the captain, one thing that's beneficial is to stack your captain with someone from that other team. And so at this point, you want to pick someone who you think is going to get in the end zone and who's going to have a lot of catches. So Hopkins definitely stands out, but at $10,000, that just leaves 20. but let's just go with a base of the 3 best players we think in this lineup with Murray at the captain. So let's go with Hopkins here. So that leaves us 10,000. DraftKings is saying we have an average of $3,300 to spend on each player. So we don't have much money to go around. Let's go down a little bit. So you got Moore at 4,800, Tunyon at 4,600, and then that's pretty much it. So the cheapest receiver for the Cardinals is Moore at 4,800. But you got to think you got Hopkins, you got Green, you got Kirk, and now you have Ertz. So he's at best the 4th or 5th option for the Cardinals. I don't really like that move, but let's go ahead and stick him in and see what we got left. So we got $2,600 left. That leaves us with about $2,600 average. In this game, you have to decide the game script. So the way this is looking is like the Cardinals definitely have the advantage. It's going to be a pass-heavy game, and the Packers may struggle in the red zone. So a smart play maybe to go with Crosby here. It's a favorable venue for kickers. So let's go ahead and slide Crosby in here and see what we can do with 1,200. So with 1,200, that leaves us with Lewis, St. Brown, and Rodgers. So St. Brown moves up to the number 2 receiver for the Packers, with all 3 top receivers being out for this game, and he's only at $600. And then you got Mercedes Lewis, who's been getting some targets. Let's see, last couple of games. So you got 10 total targets this year, not much. He doesn't have a touchdown. So maybe this is a game where he can get in the end zone without all those other guys in the lineup. St. Brown. So I think that the decision here is between Lewis and St. Brown. For whatever reason, I'm just thinking because with Tunyon in there, and to go with the backup tight end here seems kind of a stretch. I'd rather go with the number 2 receiver. So let's go ahead and slide St. Brown in there. And that fills this lineup with Murray at the captain with $600 left of salary. So let's go ahead and let's see what we can do with $600. So if we keep these 3 in, that leaves with more Crosby. So just for the sake of finalizing this, let's take Moore out and let's see what we can get for 5,400. So we can't really get anything. Lazard is out with COVID-19. So Moore is still the best bet here, or you can go with Tunyon here for $200 cheaper. But then if I go with Tunyon here, I may adjust with Crosby. But let's go ahead and keep Moore in, and let's take Crosby out and see what we can get with that. 4,600. So we can get Tunyon here. So I kind of like this lineup right here. It's risky, I guess, to go with the kicker, but it's also risky to in this type of game without the Packers receivers to roll with any of them. But this maximizes our salary. As you can see, our salary is fully at 0. We spent all $50,000. We got Murray stacked with Hopkins and Moore, and then we got Rodgers in there, who you know is going to go off in primetime game. He always does. So this could be a favorable lineup. I like this with Murray at the captain. So we'll keep this one in mind. For the sake of just comparing lineups, let's see if we can put together a lineup with Murray at the captain and without Rodgers. So let's take Rodgers out right here, and that leaves us 11,400. All right, so then the next best play would be Aaron Jones. So with this game script, you would think that the Cardinals are going to win this game, but the Packers are going to struggle to throw the ball, and so Aaron Jones is going to see a monster game right here. So I like this play actually. So we'll slide Jones in. So that leaves us $2,400. That's too much to leave on the board. So let's make some adjustments here. Let's go ahead and take the bottom 3 out. We'll leave Hopkins in there to stack with Murray. So let's take Moore, Tunyon, and St. Brown out. So now we got 12,000 left, $4,100 average. Let's see who we can stack with Murray here. So the next best player is Connor at 7,800. While he has scored a lot of touchdowns, I do think he's touchdown dependent. Edmonds is still seeing way more targets than he is, even though Connor's getting more, definitely more carries. So I kind of like Edmonds here at the $800 discount. Let's go ahead and roll with Edmonds, and then see what we got left. $2,700 per player. So that's not much. Do we go with the number one receiver for the Packers? I think it's safe, but the question is it Cobb or is it Tunyon tonight? Cobb is the cheaper by $1,000, so I'm leaning towards Cobb here. So let's go ahead and slide Cobb in there, and that leaves with $1,800. Again, okay, so now we got A.J. Dillon available at $1,400. So you're really expecting the Packers to struggle to throw the ball here. You're expecting Aaron Jones to carry the rock, and then A.J. Dillon to go in there and kind of give him some breaks. Probably 8 to 12 targets for Dillon, and maybe one of those is in the red zone, or maybe he breaks one. But that's also risky. But I mean, look what you have left to play with. You got Mercedes Lewis and then St. Brown. So you don't have much. But I think these four on top are pretty strong plays for a Cardinals game that goes in their favor. If we were to choose one, I think I would go with Dillon here. Just because I don't like the going with the backup tight end. I'd rather go with the backup running back in this situation, especially without Rodgers in there. So that's another lineup that you can go with if you expect the Cardinals to win, Murray to have success, and for Aaron Jones to get the ball a lot. All right, so now let's move on. Let's go with a lineup that has Aaron Rodgers at the captain. So this is if you expect the Packers not to struggle tonight to pass the ball. The news came out this week that J.J. Watt is going to miss this game. So that definitely is in Rodgers and the Packers' favor. However, without Adams in there, Lazard and Valdez-Scantling, who is he going to throw the ball to? So that's the big question mark on this game. But I still want to see what's out there with Rodgers at the captain. So let's put Rodgers at the captain. He's $900 cheaper than Kyler Murray. So that's a plus. That leaves $1,300 remaining from this lineup. I don't necessarily like stacking Aaron Jones with Aaron Rodgers at the captain. Just because if Jones has a monster game, Rodgers isn't, and you're paying that premium. But you can also see an instance where Rodgers throws a touchdown to Aaron Jones, and also Aaron Jones has a monster game on the ground, which this would be a really good lineup. But let's start off with taking Jones out. That opens up 10,300. So the best available is Connor. Like I said, he's touchdown dependent. At the price point that he's at, I would rather get Kirk at $600 cheaper, or even Ertz. I mean, Ertz is priced at $6,200. That's a good discount right there. Let's see. Well, Rodgers at the captain, we got to imagine that he's going to have a 3-touchdown game, 300 yards. So let's get another pass catcher for him. If Cobb's the number one receiver, then Tunyon's the number one tight end. So let's slide Tunyon in there. That leaves 5,700. It's a lot of cash left, so we're going to definitely make some adjustments here. Let's leave Cobb in there with Rodgers. Let's take out Edmonds and let's take out Dillon and see what we can put together. 7,000 average remaining. Okay, so here we can go with Edmonds again. We can go with AJ Green. So you get 2 out of the 3 top receivers for the Cardinals with Hopkins and Green at 6,800. He's cheaper than Kirk. Question with this is, who is Alexander's going to cover for the Cardinals. Who's he going to be stuck on? And if Hopkins has a monster day, then maybe one of these other receivers struggles. So maybe the tight end here is the play. We'll go with Deuce tight ends. We'll go with Tunyon and Ertz. That leaves $7,900. So in this instance, we can still get one of these other players. Do we like with this lineup? This is a Packers favorable lineup as far as game script. We think they're going to win. We think Packers are going to throw the ball a lot to either Tunyon and Cobb, and maybe Murray doesn't have as big a game with the passing, and maybe Connor can get in the end zone. It's just, for whatever reason, I'm leaning in this one towards Edmonds, just because Connor's been on a roll with touchdowns. He's so touchdown dependent that if he happens to do what he normally does and not get in the end zone, then we're leaving a lot of points on the board. He'll probably score less than Edmonds, even if Edmonds doesn't score a touchdown based on the targets that Edmonds is getting. So I'm gonna go with Edmonds here. But since we already have a lineup with Edmonds, let's play around. Let's go with AJ Green. Let's say AJ Green gets in the end zone. You got 3 pass catchers for the Cardinals right here. AJ Green slides in. That leaves $1,100. That's a lot of money to leave on the table. But shit, you got to leave Cobb in there because he's the #1 receiver for Rodgers in this lineup. So it's kind of tough. It's tough here. But let's just see with Rodgers as the captain, I want it to be more Packers friendly, and it feels more balanced towards the Cardinals here. But it could be a close game, so this could hit. But let's just try one more other lineup. This is a good lineup. I would probably roll with this lineup, even with the amount of salary you're leaving. I think if you're going to put your money on Rodgers throwing touchdowns, it's going to go to Tunyon or Cobb in this game. So if that happens, this is definitely nice. But let's go ahead and take one of these pass catchers out for the Cardinals. Let's take Ertz out. That gives us $7,300. See, the problem is the Cardinals are all priced so high and the Packers are priced lower. So you kind of, I mean, maybe a smart play here is that you roll with the Cardinals kicker and you put him in there, and that opens you up for $3,100. You take Green out, and then that leaves $9,900. And then you can even slide in, you can slide Aaron Jones back in there. So you leave $900 on the table. Aaron Jones gets a touchdown, lots of carries, but Rodgers outperforms him. So you got him at the captain. And then Hopkins catches a touchdown, and the Cardinals struggle for whatever reason. And Prater gets like 3 field goals. One of them's from 50 yards. So I think this is a pretty good Aaron Rodgers captain lineup. The other players that I want to play with at the captain are Aaron Jones and DeAndre Hopkins. So let's start messing around with the Aaron Jones lineup. All right, so we slide Aaron Jones at the captain. That leaves us $13,000 for this last flex if we keep this the same. In this lineup, we're still going to include Aaron Rodgers, because in this lineup, you're going to imagine that maybe he gets rushing touchdowns and a passing touchdown. And so if the Cardinals happen to take a big lead, Aaron's going to throw the ball. It doesn't matter who it's to. So let's get Aaron in there. But I don't know. I don't know if I would roll with this, but we're going to just play around. We'll take the kicker out and let's just see what opens up. So in this lineup, let's get some Cardinals in there. Let's get some, I'll take a share of Kirk on this one. Let's go with Kirk here. And then with $3,700, you don't have much. So that's not a favorable right here. We got a lot of lineups with Hopkins. Let's take Hopkins out and see if it opens it up a little bit. Let's go with the other pass catchers. So let's go with AJ Green. AJ Green and Kirk. So I'll leave $7,500 to get Edmonds or Ertz. Like I said, I definitely like Edmonds over Connor in this matchup. So let's go with Edmonds here. So in this one, you got two running backs. You got Rodgers in there, and then you also have Green and Kirk, just in case Hopkins' injury kind of changes things up and he gets kind of shadowed and opens it up for other players. So this is a pretty good lineup. If you think it's going to be run heavy though, and you don't think Rodgers is a smart play, which I am not leaning towards it in this lineup here. So I'll probably take Rodgers out and see we're $100 short to be able to get Murray. So let's see if we can make some adjustments to change that. Who would we have to take out? I think if we take out Green, we'll just swap him for Ertz in this lineup. Yeah. So you got Jones, Murray, Ertz, Kirk, Cobb, Edmonds. I can see the matchup going this way where Aaron Jones is just a beast on the floor. Their team still loses, but he has a ton of points. Murray goes for 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 rushing, and hopefully they go to Ertz and Kirk, and then Edmonds can get in the end zone. So I like this one right here. I want to play with the lineup that includes a very unused player. So one thing that you really want to go after is you're competing against other people, right? So other people may have this lineup. So if you happen to have a lineup that no one else has, and that's kind of risky, but if it hits, you're not going to split any winnings with anyone else, and you will probably win decent amount of money if that play were to hit. So I think the play for tonight is St. Brown at 600. So if you can slide in St. Brown at 600, let's just take Edmonds out and see if he makes the lineup again. But let's do Edmonds here. That's going to open up a lot of stuff. So if St. Brown catches a touchdown, you got to think that Rodgers is going to have a good game. So we're going to take Jones out of this lineup. We're going to put Rodgers at the captain. And so we got Rodgers, Murray. We got deuce quarterbacks in this lineup. With all of the receivers for the Cardinals, it's hard to pick which one. So if you put Kyler in there, you're kind of covering all those, question marks about who is going to get it. And then it's just Rodgers and Murray should have a good day here. Should have a good day. This lineup won't include Aaron Jones, so we'll keep him out. We'll say that this is a pass-friendly game. $3,300 is a lot of money to leave on the table. So let's see if we can save some money by taking one of these players out. We'll take Kirk out since he's the most expensive and see what's left. 10-5. 10-5 leaves room for. So we got 2 pass catchers. If we get Tunyon in there, so we give Rodgers 3 pass catchers, I think we would lose. No, we wouldn't lose Murray, but we would just leave a lot of money on the table. But like I said, if no one else is playing St. Brown and St. Brown goes off for a touchdown and say 80 yards, whatever, then it doesn't matter the salary, So this is a good play. Aaron Rodgers throws for 3 touchdowns, 300 yards. And if you're lucky, Tunyon, Cobb, St. Brown are all on this receiving end of those touchdowns. This will be a very unused lineup because I think a lot of people are going to go with Aaron Jones at the captain or Kyler Murray. And so a Rodgers stack with St. Brown here, I think it's going to be very underused tonight. And it could win you the money, the big prize, which again is $1 million. This contest goes live in 4 hours and 37 minutes. I strongly suggest that you put together $20 and you submit a lineup. This is going to be probably a high scoring game. So I think everyone has a chance at it. I don't think this one's an easy one to predict. But that's the fun of it, right? You're basically, it is a gamble, but there's some strategy involved. So I think some of those lineups that I gave you could hit. It's just a matter of there's luck involved. So if you just roll the dice and go with it, I think you should see a nice direct deposit the next morning. But let's go ahead and play with one last lineup, which is going to be a very risky play. Let's go with the riskiest play that we can think of. And the riskiest play we can think of is St. Brown. Like I said, $600. So let's go ahead and put St. Brown at the captain. I think it's a very, very, I would not suggest this, but this is just having fun. $900, St. Brown. What if he has 2 touchdowns? I mean, that's crazy because look at the amount of money we have left to play with. So with this, we got to get Rodgers in there, of course. If he has a big game, Rodgers is going to also have a big game. If Brown has a big game, then Aaron Jones probably doesn't have a big game. So let's go with Murray here. Let's also get Hopkins. All right, we got the money to spend since we got that. Let's get another Murray. Let's say that it's going to be a back and forth type game. So Hopkins is going to eat. Let's say Kirk eats, and then we got $7,900. Like we can also go get Connor for a touchdown on the goal line. I haven't included him in the lineup, I don't think. So let's go ahead and slide him in there. We got $100 left. This one will definitely make you money if it hits, because St. Brown at the captain, I think maybe a handful of people may decide to roll the dice on that move. So if you're feeling lucky, I think this is the one. But that's going to pretty much wrap it up. I think we covered a lot of different scenarios. Like I said, this goes live in 4 hours, 34 minutes. If you're going to get a lineup in, I would suggest getting in at least probably like an hour before the game. Once like the injury report comes out, something to watch is this Hopkins injury. Hopkins seems like he always goes up until game time, but I'm going to say he plays in this one. It's a big matchup. They're undefeated. I definitely think Hopkins is going to suit up, but definitely watch that before you submit a lineup. And there are other contests too that aren't $20, so there are lineups that are going to win you $100,000 if you win that are only $3. So if $20 is a little bit too much, then go ahead and enter one of those lineups. I think you will be lucky tonight if you follow some of this analysis. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Good luck to everyone, and win some money.